Yo, what up, people? It's Mr. Motherfucking R here today, of course, to give you guys Coppelion episode 4 motherfucking review. And yes, I did fucking shave, because why the fuck not? Anyway, this episode, believe it or not, actually is somewhat straightforward and does have a couple of meanings. But, we'll get to it later. But let's just start off, okay? Quick little summary, okay? So basically, they get last week's episode, they found this fucking Stinger rocket launcher, and for some reason they're calling it a hand arrow. And they're calling this, B-15 stealth bomber a crow. What? Like, they went to school and they are in the self-defense, they're with the fucking army. They should know what these weapons are actually called. That kind of get on my nerve. It got on my nerves a little bit. I mean, it's like, why the fuck are you calling it a hand? What makes you possibly refer to this as an arrow besides the fact to get shot at something? Is a pistol considered a crossbow or some No, it isn't. But fuck it. I don't know. Maybe they have these different names for the. Fuck it. And also, for some reason, I believe that they called the Jeep an RV like near the end of the episode, and that really got me really confused, like a lot, like, ah, but fuck it. Anyway, so they get in the fucking Jeep, and they're riding around, like sort of chasing after this, stealth bomber, and she fires a fucking rocket at it as they're speeding throughout the city while Professor is driving. And she fires it at it. It flies up in the air. Missile fucking launches out again for like a second time after initial fires. The exhaust comes on and shit. Like, fuck it. Anyway, it goes after it. The bomber apparently shot another missile out at it and blew it up in midair. And Ibarra basically refers to it like it has some type of sensory. And its weakness, we won't do shit if we shoot at the front. We're going to have to find its weakness. And so they continue going on. For some reason, they go through, like, apparently a golf store. A golf store? And this is a big-ass fucking store. Like, if you can drive a car through it for at least, like, 20 seconds going full speed, this is a big-ass store. Like, I mean, it's giant-ass... Is golf really that popular? I don't know, but that was a big-ass golf store. And then, basically, they're getting shot at from the stealth bomber, apparently shooting fucking lasers. Or strong-ass, big-ass bullets that look like fucking lasers. I don't know. But they're shooting something down through the roof that looks like red lasers. And it's making little explosions behind them. Then, basically, they get back on the fucking road. Then, really fast, they fucking stop. The jet flies over him. She fucking shoots a missile, and it hits the wing, and we find out that its weakness is, of course, its underbelly. And now it's going down. They're like, oh my god, it's going to go down the ocean. Wait a minute. It's not going toward, it's not going towards the ocean. It's going for this, like, small, secluded little pond area. And so they start driving towards the pond area. But unfortunately, the professor, because, it's really highly contaminated around the area, he can't continue on anymore. So they basically, he gets out the car. I'm going to go to the evac point. See you guys later. They continue driving. They get there. There are 2 dead bodies. Apparently there's blood everywhere. And what really got me thinking was, why didn't they ask, like, how did they die? Like, did they kill you? We're just left to guess how they died. Some wolves could have came by and ate their ass up. They could have shot each other. They could have killed themselves. I don't know. Maybe their mask had a crack in it and they bled. I don't fucking know. It wasn't explained at all how these 2 died. They were just dead body, blood pot, little blood spill. And then, let's go check on the jet. Like, no whatsoever, like, thinking, like, oh, I wonder how they died. No, fuck that. I don't know how they died, so fuck it. And then basically they get on a fucking boat and they go over the river, and then as they're going over the river, they notice something. Well, what's her name notices something. Fuck it, I don't care. Basically, under the lake or the small little pond is a shitload of highly contaminated waste. And upon further, searching, they basically figure out that this stealth bomber is a part of the legit Yellow Cake Corporation in Japan, and they basically do like off the book missions to remove waste. And they decide, since hey, this is an old abandoned city, why not dump the waste that would be very contaminated in the city? It's not like it's gonna fuck it up even more. I mean, it's already fucked up beyond belief. People aren't living there. It's ruins. So we might as well. And you know what? I will say this, because Ibarra, you already know how Ibarra is. Like, oh my God, they're destroying our city. Me, I don't really give a fuck. I'm like, well, actually, it makes some sense. Like, yeah, they were doing it for corporate greed, because they're getting paid exorbitant. They're getting paid a lot of fucking money to do this, and they've been doing it for a while. Because the entire fucking bottom of the pond is just outlined with these fucking barrels of high-level waste, which like you could consider like depleted uranium cells and shit like that, stuff that they usually have to bury in the ground. And so what happens after that? No, let me just say this. My opinion, yeah, why not? I mean, I get the whole world thing, but I mean, let's be honest. If you had to put some chemical waste somewhere, would you rather have them dump it in your friendly neighborhood river or in an abandoned city that already has high levels of pollution that kill anybody that enter it without a hazmat suit? Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the abandoned city. No rivers for me. I'm from Michigan. I like my clean water from the lake. I don't like, there's no reason they should be dumping shit in a bucket. And Ibarra, I'm crying. I swear to God, this bitch, she cries too much. She be crying about random shit. Like, I don't know. I like her character, but when she cries, I'm just like, no, fuck it. Like, because she cries too much. I mean, when she first came in, I thought that she was like a tough soldier, and no, it's like, no, she's a little girl. Like, I mean, she is like 18, I believe, or 17, and I mean, she was raised, by the army and the military. I would expect there to be some cold-hearted nature there, but no, it's always crying and doing acrobatics and. And then from there, they're basically driving around. They, because they figure out the entire situation. They tell the vice principal about it. He gives them the information about the yellow cake, and they put it all together anyway. Fuck it. I'm done with that scene. Because let's be honest. Yes, I would much rather have chemical waste, shit that could fuck up human lives if anyone's around it, in an area that is already really fucked up, and that people do not live. Because it makes sense. I mean, apparently this Pandora box that they opened cannot be closed, so that city's gonna be fucked up for life until they find a way to close it. So, I'm just saying, like, would you rather have it in your drinking water, or in your fucking lake or river, or fucking up the, the nature? There's no nature left there. Well, there is, but still, like, it's weird. It's weird nature. Okay, it's weird nature. Fuck it. Like fucking wolf-dog hybrids that can survive in this area, and like birds, and they've adapted, but I mean, it's already fucked up anyway. I mean, there are no people living there. Might as well. I mean, it's not like we can afford to send it into fucking space. Not yet. That's millions of dollars, and considering how big a spaceship would have to be to send a amount where it would actually be somewhat beneficial, would cost. It would like, let's say like this. Let's say a rocket ship costs like maybe 50,000. No, not 50,000. Like maybe like 5 million. That's just, I'm fucking look it up. I mean, let's say it costs $5 million to make, a basic rocket, like, a satellite station that goes up, like a small one. Now then, if you fill that, and considering the amount of fuel that you need to actually lift this up, into outer space, if you fill that with, nuclear shit, waste, you would only be able to fill up, not that much. You'd be able to fill up some, but not that much. especially considering you have to give it out of the Earth's orbit and possibly send it into the sun, which is the best idea you could think of. It would work. It's already fucking full of radiation, so why not? But when you think about, is it really beneficial? Spending like $5 million, I'm assuming that it might be like 10 or 100 times more. But then you gotta factor in for each one of these barrels, it adds more weight to the ship. And with more weight, they're gonna need a bigger ship, more reinforcement metal, more fuel to lift this heavy shit up. And so when you think about it, outer space will most likely never be an option for our waste. Like, picture if a nigga just took a trash bag and sent it up into space. Like, no, like, you really spending all that money for one, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, from there, let's continue on. Basically, they're calling up on the radio. Old lady and the dude are at the evac point. Professor isn't picking up. He isn't where they left him. They don't know where he is. Apparently, he's walking down some fucking street. Then the old lady gets on. She's like, okay, I know where he is. He's at this old shrine. They go to the old shrine. Old ladies continue talking about how nice of a guy he is. Professor's like, I gotta make up for my mistakes. All this shit. They go to the shrine. They go up the steps. They're searching around. It's actually looking pretty nice, and we find out that's because Professor has been maintaining it for years. She walks over. She sees like some feet. Nigga has his mask off. He's about to die. She shoots him with fucking anther to help sustain his life for 10 minutes. And apparently he just took off his mask. And they can't put it back on because what's the use? He already has it. He's already contaminated with it. Best they can do is treat it for right now because they don't have the technology with them, to get rid of it or somewhat make it manageable. They can just get like 10 minutes. That's it. And so now the timer starts. The timer. The countdown. Fine. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not, as much as I want to, I'm not saying it. And then, basically, race against time. Hurry the fuck up. You better make it in 10 minutes. This nigga gonna die. Professor, oh my god, all these atrocities I've caused it. I just want to die. Fuck you, Professor. No, fuck that. When I first saw this dude walk down the street, I was expecting, he's about to go somewhere really fucking dangerous, and he's about to go try and stop this. No, fuck that. Nigga tries to die in a fucking field. Like, in a fucking shrine. No, fuck that. Surrounded by nigga. You want to actually be a scientist and try and help? Fucking walk your ass down to where this shit started and try and close it and die trying. That's how you should do it. Not fucking die in a field giving up. Like, no. He was trying to be like, I don't know. It just seemed like he wanted a fucking easy way out. No, fuck that. If you're going to take any way out, being that you created this and you feel personally responsible. And he's like, I felt personally responsible and all that shit. And he's like, it's just hurting him. Then fucking go and try and close it. And die trying. It makes better sense than just, this looks like a nice place to die. No, fuck that. I wasn't digging that scene no, why the fuck are you in the shrine? I was expecting like some type of like underground tunnel leading there or some shit. Like, no, fuck that. Nigga literally legit just wanted to fucking die. Which is horrible considering that if he really felt personally responsible and he wanted to die, he might as well go and die trying to stop it. It would have been a waste of death, but I'm telling you, it would. If this nigga even took one step towards that fucking bridge, that would be a better death than this nigga just deciding to die in a fucking shrine. Like, at least he would have tried to do something to stop this. But no, instead he's like, fuck it, it's already happened, there's nothing I can do. I feel so responsible, I want to die. Fuck that. And so, race against time. They make it there with like 4 minutes left and they're waiting for the chopper. No, it isn't coming. Chopper fucking comes with like a minute left. Seconds are left. They throw down one of the cartridges. She goes running after doing her gymnastics shit. Puts it in the gun with like 1 second left. She's about to fire and then, Professor, I'm alive. Then, it drops down. And the main reason why the professor was so like keen about wanted to die is because he caused this. And the vice principal, for instance, and the professor knows this, is basically, because of this incident, the vice principal lost both his wife and his young daughter. And now he's about to go meet face to face the man who killed them. This scientist, the professor. And That's pretty like yo like. And he's staring at him. He's staring him down. Old lady, I don't need your help. That's over in the side. Anyway, basically Ibarra, she's holding the professor, and there was a crying scene, but fuck that, I don't care. Like no, like you cry too much. Like I don't want to see what I want to see. I want to see crying. I want to see emotion, but not this much. No, it has to have certain moments. Like oh, they're destroying my already fucking destroyed city. No, fuck that. Or oh, I didn't think we were gonna make it in time. Fuck that. No, some real shit. Like if she just saw like a child get brutally murdered by some dogs because it was her. Yeah, that's some shit. I want, some shit like that. No, the river. No. Basically, we see the vice president. He's gripping his hand. He's obviously angry. Then he decides to open it. And Professor doesn't want to look at him because, he did kill his wife and daughter. And stands out the hand, you look like you need some help. And it was very symbolic because the professor, he thinks that he's responsible for all this, but the dude, vice principal, he knows that he was just doing his job. Like, not like I'm going to Africa to wipe out a fucking village just doing my job. No, fuck that. I'm talking about a large majority of people wanted this to happen, and it had somewhat public support. It was needed for the time, and the risks must have outweighed, the benefits. But the risks are high as shit, as we can tell, so the benefits must have been outrageous. But the thing about it is, he realizes, like, yo, I'm here to help you. Yes, you made a mistake, but it's not your fault. It isn't. You were just a scientist giving the people what they wanted. And if that resulted in something bad, aka the invention of dynamite, the invention of fireworks, the invention of the gun, those are things that we needed. Yet, it was very bad that they happened. Fireworks. Why are they bad? Well, originally, fireworks were invented as, a display, to show. They were really beautiful. And they were invented in, I believe, Japan, or China, I don't care. One of those. I'm assuming Japan. No, it was China, Because China had the fucking Great Wall of China, yeah. And basically, they invented these fireworks. And not only were they beautiful, but then people started thinking, that's a pretty big-ass explosion. You know what? Let's arm our army with this and have them shoot it at motherfuckers from mountains. And then we had the first type of fucking rocket, which was actually a firework, if you didn't know. And then, let's just continue on with this, because fucking why not? Let's talk about dynamite. Dynamite was originally invented as a way to make mining easier. And instead, it incited a giant... It marked the way for destruction. It wasn't invented, to be helpful. But when you see the shit that it has done, it's like positive and negative. And it's even stated, I believe, like by because I do remember that the dude who invented dynamite, he did get, for some odd reason, like what was it called? The man who invented I remember his name too. Nobel. Yeah, something Nobel. Because he invented the Nobel Prize. The person who actually invented dynamite. And it was because he created something, and it was supposed to benefit humanity, but it ended up becoming a horrible weapon. And so it made the Nobel Prize to give money to people who have done things to benefit humanity. And now they're just basically like, fuck it. Oh, whoa. You're the president and you're black? Like, just saying, fuck it, I don't care. Anyway, if you want to get into the gun thing, originally muskets, hell yeah, it had balance to it. Then when you can literally put 30 bullets to a fucking clip like this, and you can kill 30 people, possibly even more if they're armor penetrating and they can go through a person's body and hit another person, that's basically 30 people dead, at least. Or at most. Fucking. That could kill a lot of motherfuckers. Originally, though, I mean, it seemed like a pretty good idea. Like, oh, yes, we sort of need this. But now it's like, oh my god. Like, fucking chain guns shooting like 10,000 bullets a second. And they apparently catch on fire and explode. And like, I'm not even, like, there are chain guns now that have bullets with explosive and, like, incinerary. They actually have bullets like those in these chain guns. Picture that shit. It's like, not only is this shit spitting out bullets like nothing, but it's also, the bullet either hits and explodes or lights your ass on fire. And then basically, after that, Ibara Sensei, you can't do this on your own. I know we don't really have the same type of abilities as you, but still, we're in this together. Girl power. And then that was the episode. You don't have to cry alone anymore. Yeah, I just want to throw that in there too. Please stop crying. It's just too much. Like even episode choose crying when that bitch is dead. No. She didn't even like really know her, and she kidnapped a girl. Like, no. The crying, the emotion needs to be better distributed. I hate people who just cry for no fucking reason, or just cry at random points for dumb shit, or somewhat medium shit. If you're crying, you should cry for, something meaningful, not just, oh my god, my tea's cold, fuck that. But overall, I still gotta give this episode right here. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. It was a good episode overall. Yes, it was. But it had its okay moments. If you know what those okay moments are, then you get my drift. I mean, come on. Is that really what you guys enjoy? Like, this bitch is crying. Like, I mean, anybody can shed a tear. It's the tears that are shed for a reason that are important. So, fuck it. With that being said, Smith's to motherfucking on. This episode over here, 8 out of 10. It was good. It was. But it had its okay moments sprinkled throughout the episode. So with that being said, Smith's to motherfucking on. Peace the fuck out.